electrical codes address the placement of receptacles around indoor pools. The primary concern is safety, minimizing the risk of electrical shock in a wet environment. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, provides specific guidelines for receptacle placement around pools. These guidelines aim to ensure that any electrical devices used near the pool are safely powered and that the risk of electrical hazards is minimized. In general, receptacles serving pool equipment, like pumps and filters, must have ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI, protection. This is a critical safety measure because a GFCI can quickly detect even small leakage currents and interrupt the power supply, preventing a potentially fatal electric shock. This protection extends to most receptacles installed within a certain proximity of the pool. The specific distances outlined in the NEC are crucial to understand. These distances are not arbitrary. They are based on assessments of potential hazards and aim to create a buffer zone around the pool where electrical equipment is carefully controlled. It is also important to differentiate between receptacles that serve pool equipment and general-purpose receptacles. Receptacles for pool equipment have very specific requirements, whereas general-purpose receptacles, intended for things like radios or phone chargers, might have slightly different rules regarding their placement and GFCI protection. Now, consider the question of whether an indoor pool with space limitations can have more than one receptacle located closer than 5 feet. The answer is yes under certain conditions. The key consideration is that all receptacles within a certain distance of the pool, typically specified as 10 feet, must have GFCI protection. This requirement applies regardless of whether the receptacles are intended for pool equipment or general use. The NEC provides an exception. More than one receptacle is permitted within that specified distance as long as each receptacle is GFCI protected. This is because the GFCI protection significantly reduces the risk of electrical shock, even if multiple receptacles are located in close proximity to the pool. Space limitations often necessitate the installation of multiple receptacles closer than might be ideal from a spacing perspective. In these situations, GFCI protection becomes even more critical. It is imperative to consult the latest edition of the NEC and any applicable local codes to ensure compliance. Local codes can sometimes be more stringent than the NEC, so it is essential to be aware of any local amendments or interpretations. When planning electrical installations around an indoor pool, several factors should be taken into account. Firstly, the intended use of the receptacle should be considered. Are they primarily for pool equipment, or are they intended for general use? This will influence the type of receptacle selected and the specific GFCI protection required. Secondly, the physical layout of the pool area is crucial. Consider the distances from the pool's edge to potential receptacle locations and ensure that all applicable spacing requirements are met. Thirdly, the potential for water exposure should be assessed. Receptacles located in areas where they are likely to be splashed with water should be weather resistant and protected by suitable enclosures. Fourthly, the wiring methods used should be appropriate for a wet environment. Conduit and wiring specifically designed for wet locations should be used to prevent corrosion and ensure long-term reliability. Fifthly, regular inspections and testing of the electrical system are essential to maintain safety. GFCI devices should be tested periodically to ensure that they are functioning correctly. Any damaged or deteriorated wiring or equipment should be promptly repaired or replaced. The electrical safety of an indoor pool depends on careful planning, proper installation, and ongoing maintenance. By adhering to the NEC, local codes, and best practices, it is possible to create a safe and enjoyable environment for pool users. It is recommended that a qualified electrician be consulted for any electrical work around a pool. A qualified electrician has the knowledge and experience to ensure that all work is performed safely and in compliance with all applicable codes. Failure to comply with electrical codes can result in serious injury or death. Always prioritize safety when working with electricity, especially in wet environments. In summary, while spacing limitations may exist around an indoor pool, multiple receptacles are permitted within the specified distance, provided that each receptacle is equipped with GFCI protection. Remember to consult the latest edition of the NEC and local codes and to engage a qualified electrician for any electrical work.